Hi everyone, this is Tia Bottom with Time Marker Photography, and I am doing an interview series for my Facebook group called Empowering Time Markers. It's for women and of business, entrepreneur, and amazing women that have stories to tell. So today I am with Regina, and she is a yoga and meditation practitioner, and her business is called Conscious Connector. Welcome, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for doing this today. I'm very excited.
I'm so glad you're here. Tell me about what you do and your business and who you are.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so Conscious Connector is a brand that I kind of was given when I worked for a marketing agency back in the day, and I loved it. And it really spoke to who I am. So my business is twofold. Under this brand, Conscious Connector, I teach yoga and meditation, and I empower women and men to tune into their heart for their guidance and for going through this world. And then the second part is I also bring the voices of entrepreneurs um, alive on social media in very simplistic ways because social media can be so overwhelming, and yet we can really simplify it. And so I help businesses to do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
So, what made you get into that? Like, what drove you into that?
To the social media or the yoga?
Um, Both, whichever one
Both.
pulls you more.
Yeah, well, both. Okay. So, yoga and meditation was kind of my lifesaver 10 years ago. I was just not happy. And I worked with this guy, and he was always happy. Nothing seemed to get in his way. And I just said to him, like, what? Why are you so happy? Like, how do you do this? He's like, and with the biggest grin on his face, he's like, I meditate. And I'll never forget it for as long as I live. And I walked away. I'm like, I don't meditate, and put my head down instead of like embracing it. And so it took a little bit of time. I wasn't, acclimated or didn't understand it, but I did start meditating, and it changed everything for me because there's so many physical benefits to meditation. One being that your brain chemistry starts to change and you actually release bliss chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, all that good stuff. So I found that like even after just a few minutes of meditating, I felt better. So I became addicted to it, studied it, dove into it like my life depended on it. Yoga was an extension of that, just a different way of tuning in. And I just liked it. It was a good workout at first, and then it just became integrated into everything I was doing. So I got a certification in yoga. And then the other part, the social media part. So my passion is bringing people back to themselves, and and through that, social media was a means of helping these passionate entrepreneurs to come back to their own voice and share it with others. Um, because I know that, through a lot of the clients that I have, they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. And so it's, how do you want to help people? And so because I just want to help everybody and I have to like dial it back, I'm like, oh, I can help somebody else bring their voice to life on social media to serve and help others. And that's how it just all came together. I really couldn't tell you how. It was just like a passion. And then all of a sudden I was doing it and I was making money around it too.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what
Mhm.
you want, right? That's the ultimate goal.
Yes.
So, tell me what is the best part of what you do?
Mm. Well, that I get to combine all my favorite activities and I into a business. And the the great thing is like everything integrates into the other. One, like I'll be working at my desk and then I'll pause for an hour to teach a yoga class. And for me this year, the pandemic has really fueled my business because I now have the time to take on more clients and to be able to pause from my home and go teach a class without breaking up that flow so much. Before I used to have to drive, So now there's more room, time, and space to really build the business, and I'm just enjoying it so much. Like I wake up just excited to get out of bed, and I know that sounds corny because that used to drive me crazy when other people would say that. I'm like, what? You're excited to get out of bed? And now I am one of those people, uh and I'm just grateful that I do have that feeling right now. It can change, but right now that's where it's at.
I That is so good because it almost made people stop and be like, where do I fit in the world? And you are so needed in the world right now. And that's probably why you feel so aligned, do you think?
Mm. I do, and Tia, you and I have been talking about like the creative process and how kind of this unfolds for us. And so I will tell you that, backtrack 3, 4 years ago, even let's say 7 years ago, I was starting to um, understand a new way of creating. And the creation process was through meditation, it was through visioning, and I'm not talking vision boards, but I'm talking like tuning into to my own heart,
Mm.
and not expecting an instant result, because it was a very slow process. It took me years to be able to do the step out of corporate America, and then even to continue that creation process of tuning into the heart. And I fully believe that this is why I feel joyful, is because I didn't do it on the fast track, and I'm still not doing it on the fast track. And I'm surrounded by people doing it on the fast track.
Yeah.
And it really, really pulls on me because I'm like, I'm not doing it fast enough. But
Mm.
if I really live authentically, then I have to remember that you're going as fast as the slowest part of you wants to go. And that's a song, and I don't remember her name, but she deserves credit. Just know it's not my words. Um, and so I have to come back to me and not worry about how fast society is going, and just be in my process, because that's where my joy is.
That's great. That's great advice and wisdom for people listening. So I hope they tune in for that. So tell me, what is the most challenging? I think you kind of touched on it, but what do you consider the most challenging part?
Um, the most challenging is the balance between all the work that I'm getting right now. And it is, I don't know, uh, right now, I'm figuring out how to either invite somebody else in to support the business. Like, this is like, whoa,
Mhm.
it could be, it just could be in a little bit bigger. It could be bigger,
Yeah.
and I need support to do that. And I don't know how to ask for the support, bring it in, let go, know where I can trust somebody else to care for it in the way that I really want it cared for. So I'm reading this book called The 15 Commitments of a Conscious Leader. And my intent is to bring in a person who would align with those commitments and also read the book and be on board with living from that place of consciousness.
That's a great start for sure.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
and that's exciting that you're
Yeah.
growing and you can think in a bigger way. As excuse me, as a money coach, I understand. And I heard you say something key that I hear other women say, and they're like, ugh. So what I ask is, do you want to be busy or do you want to make money? Right. So you have to balance that out. And it's kind of like putting you in the path of like cost and time.
Yes.
So, tell me, what advice would you give to somebody that is starting out in yoga or meditation?
Um, don't jump in big, be patient with yourself. That's what I always say. It's like, and be consistent. If you want to have big biceps or toned arms, you're going to go to the gym and consistently lift, but you're not going to go grab the biggest dumbbell. You're going to grab something small and you're going to work your way up. And also that consistency in it. So, most people will say, I can't do it. I have a monkey mind. My mind jumps everywhere. Well, we have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And if you think you're going to sit down and have a quiet mind and be like,
Zen.
the enlightened one immediately, well, it could be true. More power to you. But mostly you're going to need to take it in small doses, 2 to 3 minutes at a time. Learning how to tune into your breath. If you're high strung, it's not going to just come. It's a practice.
It sounds like a perfect client to me. If they're saying that, it's like, well, then this is definitely what you need. So, because I totally understand. I took a 6-week course in mindful meditation with yoga, and just for me, not like to be certified or anything. And it changed my life, but it took the full 6 weeks for me to sit still and calm
Mhm.
down. Like it took, and that I had to go there for hours a week to practice doing that.
Yeah.
So it's not overnight, but the reward is so great. And I love that you were spreading that message and helping people do that. So what advice would you give somebody that is starting out in a business? So you do their social media. So that's almost like a first step is getting out there. Would you consider it marketing?
Yes, it's definitely considered marketing. And if marketing and social media is the place that you're clear on, that's where you want to be projecting your voice, be really clear on the audience that you want to target, um, and then really think about the way you're going to serve them, like what is helpful for them to know. And then that's where you let your voice flow, because there's all of us really do at the very heart of our beings, I think, really want to be of service to people.
Mhm.
And so that's where I start, is to get clear on how you're serving, what that message is, and then start creating content around that. It does not 2 to 3 times a week, doesn't have to be anything too hard. And then learning, depending on what platform, if you're doing Instagram, doing a little bit of research on hashtags. There's all kinds of tips. Like we could do a whole call on some easy tips and tricks for your social media. That
So
it's yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So
No, that's okay.
how do you help people with that specifically? So if I came to you and I said, hey, I need help with marketing and social media, do you teach them how to do it? Do you do it for them? How does that work?
Most people don't want to do it themselves because it is
Time
very
consuming.
time consuming. So they hire me to do it. And I say that, and then there are other businesses that just don't want to invest money into it, and that's absolutely fine. And then I can just offer, do a webinar, or and just give those ideas around creating the strategy, helping you to understand how hashtags work, by what you're looking for, and then some really simplistic ways to help spread the word and um, engage with other people, so it grows. And again, like, I'm not into fast and furious. I'm into that, like, what is it, that story about the turtle and the rabbit? Slow
Right,
and steady wins the race.
right.
That's me. I and the reason is because in order to tune into your inner voice, it that's part of the learning here.
Mhm.
So when I tune into my inner voice, that's leading me into the external experiences that I'm having, but they just come from like this. I'm looking up at my moon creation for the month, and I have written down, I go at the pace of peace. If I'm getting frazzled and everything feels out of control, then I really need to check in, because I'm not going at the pace of peace anymore. Um, and it's not going to impact my abundance. It's not going to take money away from me. It's just a pause.
You should make a graphic of that. I will share that. That is such a good, yeah. When you speak and I'm listening to you, I hear tons of content already. I'm like, man, you are gonna go so big. I can feel it. Like you, I just love your aura and your whole thing. Like,
Thank you.
thank you for getting to know me and me getting to know you. So I really
Yeah,
appreciate
this has been
that.
great. I yeah,
Um,
appreciate you inviting me.
so let's talk about what's coming up. You're going to do a yoga and meditation visioning workshop next week
Yes.
on Wednesday. I'm so excited at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to create an event for that. So if you're watching this, make sure you look in the group for that. Um, and I'll have all your links and things how to get a hold of you. Is there
Okay.
other things that you're looking forward to doing in the next year or next month? What do you got going?
Yeah. So 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 the workshop is going to be around us tuning into our bodies first, and then doing a short meditation, and then I'll take you through four easy four questions. So this will support you in whatever you're creating in your business or your life. And an extension of this that I'm involved with, it's called Maiden Voyage. And the Maiden Voyage is about the feminine energy and just this creative process that I'm talking about, that's pace of peace and slow and steady, and very abundant, I would say, too. Just I'm just kind of shocked at what I've been able to create over this last 3 years. So the maiden voyage starts in January, and I'm going to be doing something called moon meditation. So the moon is a feminine, symbolic part of our world, and so the moon has different phases, and every 3 days it changes. And so there's a little piece to the moon every 3 days that supports the creative process. And I'm going to be teaching this through this maiden voyage. And I'll make sure that there's a link for it. There's really wonderful teachers and coaching, and it's just, it is, I feel like in my heart that it's going to kind of not blow up the world, but just really like there's a big loving explosion of love that's coming from this by tuning into that feminine process versus the external masculine pushing through process.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that, because I know I've already doing it and it's been nothing but wonderful.
It sounds wonderful, and I'm excited about it too.
Mhm.
Because we never really talked about it. That's the first time I heard you say like what it really is, and this sounds very intriguing. I'm all
Mhm.
about that. So I'm very
Yeah.
excited for that. And it just triggered a thought in me. Random side note, you should definitely make a t-shirt with with that pace of peace. Like
Pace of peace.
that's like my biggest takeaway of this interview today is that I love that. I'm going to write that down and kind of like
I think I will make a t-shirt. I love that too.
write it
I'll
down.
send you one.
So thank you so much, Regina. You are such an amazing person, and I can't wait to enjoy all your workshops and the things you got going on. I can't wait to see you bloom and blossom at
Thank
your
you.
pace. I can't wait. So thank you so much for doing this, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, and Tia, thank you for creating this space for women to, dive into themselves and expand and grow. Like this is nourishment for all of us, and I'm just really grateful that I get to be here, and I even got to use my voice, and share this, and it's so great. So virtual hug.
Yes.
I'm squeezing. All right. Thank you so much. I look forward to doing the workshop on
Thank
December
you.
30th.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.